Welcome back to the heart of the story here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, your sanctuary in the digital storm, where we don't skim the surface, we dive into the currents beneath, the whispers between lines, the pulses behind carefully composed smiles. Today the air crackles with a kind of anticipation we haven't felt in ages. We're stepping into a moment that fractured the quiet of a dawn-lit airport and sent the internet into a frenzy of questions, theories, and hope. It circles two people who have mastered the delicate art of staying human under a spotlight that never switches off. Yes, we are stepping into the storm that is Demet Özdemir and Kenyaman. Before we untangle the threads of what unfolded, stake your claim in this circle of deep divers. Hit subscribe to stay in the front row when a story lands, ring that bell so you're first through the door, and if you believe in storytelling that treats its subjects with respect and depth, tap join. Your support keeps these conversations thoughtful, careful, and worthy of the people at the center. Take a breath. We are moving toward the eye of the moment, Demet and Can. In the hours before sunrise, when terminals usually hum with sleepy footsteps and the rustle of scarves drawn up to the nose, a shift ran through the crowd. It started as a hush, a pulled thread of silence, then became a tide. Photographers, sensing something ready to break, surged like the sea licking at a pier. Light strobed over polished floors, and in the flare, at the center, was Demet Özdemir. For months her name hovered like a question drifting over timelines and fan edits, always tethered to a single theme: what truly lives in the private world of Kenyaman? Rumors grew from warm speculation to thunderclaps, whispers of a secret vow, a ceremony tucked where cameras can't climb. Through it all she stayed composed, fluent in the language of poise, a guardian of quiet. No denials, no confessions. Just that easy smile that looks effortless and says nothing while somehow saying everything. She is a mistress of stillness, silence is her velvet rope. But airports become theaters when the right name passes through. Luggage wheels rattled like snare drums. A voice cut the air, sharp, brave, impossible to sidestep. The question hung bluntly, Demet Hanım, is it true you married Kenyaman? No lace, no cushion, just impact. It was the first clean strike after months of glancing blows. Everyone expected the choreography she's perfected: keep moving, let the question dissolve into the speaker's breath, disappear into security and leave only reflection. But not today. Today, the scene flipped. Demet stopped. The pause was careful, almost cinematic, and it rippled through the crowd. She lifted her chin by a breath, a quiet act of ownership, like an actor stepping into her mark under a spotlight and choosing her first word. The smile arrived. The one that launches millions of comments, and something in the temperature of the space slipped a degree cooler. Cameras surged closer, the mood turning from confusion into a delicious near chaos. Follow-up questions gusted in. Are you and Ken in a good place? Have the families been introduced? Are you traveling together, just not together? Do you plan to make anything official soon? She listened, and there was a protective calm about her, a sense of someone standing just within a doorway and deciding how far to open it. I know everyone is curious, she said, the curve of her mouth keeping its secrets, a shield against the storm. But sometimes life moves better at its own pace. Right now my heart is calm. The rest, you'll see soon. That was it. And it was plenty. The sentence moved through the terminal like a fine fragrance, lingering long after she turned away. She offered her passport with a steady hand, didn't look back once, and disappeared toward the gates as though she knew the camera would follow only so far. Within minutes the clip jumped platforms, stitched, captioned, replayed. And as it bloomed across feeds, another detail resurfaced, a line that Kenyaman himself gave just days earlier after a late rehearsal, when a microphone caught him in the corridor. I don't prefer to talk about my private life, he said, warm but certain. But I'm happy. That lone sentence now magnetized everything Demet offered this morning. His steadiness, her grace, side by side they turned rumor into a living, breathing riddle. Let's pause right here, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, and inhale. What you're seeing is a masterclass in boundaries, two people moving in the same rhythm, choosing what to reveal and when. Is this elegant ambiguity the veil over a secret marriage? Or is it simply a couple building a sanctuary, brick by brick, away from the noise? Tell me what you believe. Drop your theories in the comments, and if this story has you leaning forward, tap like so the conversation grows. Within hours, comments stacked sky high. Some swore the game was over, that what remained was a slow reveal decided on their timeline. Others insisted her trip wasn't just work or a quick breath of fresh air, but tethered to something intimate and fragile that she isn't ready to hand to the world. The theory that sent hearts racing fastest? That they were bound for the same city on different flights, choosing parallel paths to dodge the joint photo that would throw fuel on the blaze. It sounded like fanfiction until an eagle-eyed traveler posted a blurry departure board. 2 flights to the same destination, times close enough to whisper. Proof? Not even close. But possibility? Intoxicating. By midday, what began as a routine travel day had become the week's obsession. The internet split into camps, each fluent in its own grammar of clues. Was there a private celebration tucked away, a ring warmed by candlelight and just a few witnesses? Are they winding toward a major reveal, waiting for a moment tied to work, to meaning, to a date only they understand? Or is this simply 2 people insisting on a piece of normal life, refusing to surrender the last quiet corner to the crowd? The final truth hovered just out of reach, a mirage in heat, but one thing sharpened into focus. Demet uses silence like ink, writing her story without spilling it, and Ken supports that language by refusing to add noise. Fan edits grew meticulous. Creators looped the split second when her lips parted before she answered and swore the small dimple in her left cheek deepened differently than usual. Others studied her jewelry. Was that ring new? A delicate band she always wears? Or a piece with a story that wasn't meant to be noticed yet? They compared her soft-toned travel coordinates to photos of Ken last week. Was there a color echo across their outfits, a gentle nod slipped beneath the radar? Even the angle of her bag strap became evidence, as if answers hide in the choreography of mundane choices. Messages from both fanbases layered into a chorus. She looks so centered, one person wrote, a line embedded beneath clip after clip. There's a glow you can't fake, said another. Skeptics held their ground. This is strategy, they countered. They're conducting suspense with precision. And even that read like admiration. Because it is choreography. A balance of what is precious and what is public, and today they danced it without missing a beat. Watch the uncut video closely and you'll catch one last detail. After her final sentence, Demet lifts her hand in a small wave, thank you, boundary, and goodbye, wrapped in one gesture. She moves toward the barrier, presents her phone with the boarding pass glowing, then vanishes beyond the glass, into the land of gates and clocks where cameras can't follow. The clip ends there, but the analysis only stretches longer. People pulled up old interviews where she talked about patience, about loving slowly, about timing as a form of care. They matched them with Can's words on discipline, respect, and the need to keep something sacred if you plan to endure an industry that keeps asking for more. Placed side by side, those memories make today feel like an inevitability, a page they were always steering toward without ever grabbing the wheel in public. No stunts. No declarations. Just consistency, and a refusal to let rumor hand them a chapter title they didn't choose. And here we are tonight, watching the cycle turn one more time. Fans feel perched at the edge of a reveal. Maybe not a full confessional yet, but a breadcrumb with weight, a single photo that says more than any caption, a shared presence that doesn't require commentary, or a brief acknowledgement that lets everyone exhale. Was this morning the first deliberate step toward letting the world in? We can't say, not yet. But the air around them hums differently now. It's not the chaotic guessing of early whispers. It's warmer, steadier, thrumming with an anticipation that feels like respect. When a couple protects their center and still offers a spark, the audience leans in with care, not just curiosity. That's what unfolded in the terminal, a fandom willing to wait if the truth, when it arrives, is offered honestly. So what sits on the table? A secret marriage shared only with a circle small enough to fit in a whisper? A planned reveal timed to work, to meaning, to milestones only they trace on their calendars? Or the simplest possibility of all, two people tending something real offstage, promising to step forward only when the step feels right? Suspense lives here, yes, but so does tenderness. That's why this moment broke the internet without even breaking its stride. One thing is certain. The sentence Demet gifted the cameras belongs to this moment. It gripped the timeline and spun it. The clip will replay under candlelit dinners and anonymous lounges, slowed until every frame carries weight. Whether it precedes a vow, a statement, or a continued commitment to privacy, it will be remembered as the minute when silence changed shape. Thank you for stepping into the heart of the story with us at Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If this deep dive moved you, share it with someone who reads between the lines. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit join to support storytelling that honors the people at its center. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your hearts tuned to the truth.